What if power doesn't disappear all at once, but slips away quietly, piece by piece, while everything still looks stable? What if a ruler could be sitting on a throne, surrounded by loyalty, and still not be in control at all? Welcome to Nerdjacker's Vault. Today, we're stepping into Volume 1 of the Works of Han Feizi, a world where power is everything and trust is almost nothing. Han Feizi is writing in a time like that, a world where speaking to a ruler is already dangerous. If you say the wrong thing, you die. If you stay silent when you shouldn't, you still die. So before anything else, there's this quiet tension behind his words. He's not just explaining power, he's navigating it. And he begins, not by attacking, but by observing. The great alliance forming against Qin looks strong. On the surface, it's impressive. But Han Fei looks closer, and something feels off. These states don't really function. Their laws aren't enforced consistently. Rewards don't always come. Punishments don't always follow. And because of that, people stop believing in the system. They might say they'll fight. They might even believe it in the moment. But when things turn real, they hesitate. Qin is different. In Qin, effort leads somewhere. Failure has consequences. The system, however harsh, feels real. And that creates something rare. People who will actually act because they trust the structure they're inside. For a moment, it sounds like praise. But Han Fei doesn't stay there, because something doesn't add up. If Qin is this strong, if its system works, if its army is disciplined, if its position is this favorable, then why hasn't it already won? Why does it keep stopping? He lingers on that question. Because it's a pattern. Again and again, Qin advances, gains the upper hand, gets close to something decisive, and then pulls back, makes peace. Lets enemies recover. It's not failure, it's hesitation. And over time, that hesitation starts to shape how others see them. Strong but not decisive. Capable but not relentless. And once that perception settles in, something shifts. Opponents stop fearing total defeat. So the problem isn't weakness. It's something quieter. Power not carried through. From there, the focus changes. Not to armies or strategy, but to something more fragile, the act of speaking truth. Because even if the problem is clear, saying it out loud is another matter. No matter how you speak, it turns against you. Speak carefully, and you sound insincere. Speak plainly, and you sound crude. Say too much, and you're impractical. Say too little, and you're dismissed. There's no safe way to be right. And history, he reminds us, is full of people who are right and paid for it. So the issue isn't just bad advice. It's that rulers often cannot recognize good advice when it arrives. And from there, everything gets colder. Because Han Fei stops talking about individuals and starts talking about systems. The real danger, he says, is not outside the state. It's inside, the people closest to power. Ministers, favorites, even family. These are the ones who slowly reshape it. Not all at once, just gradually. A minister gains influence, builds relationships, distributes favors, becomes necessary. And at some point, almost without noticing, the ruler is no longer the only center of authority. Power hasn't been taken. It's been shared. And shared power in Han Fei's world is already the beginning of loss. So his answer is harsh but consistent. Nothing should exist outside the ruler's control. No independent power. No private networks. No separate loyalties. Everything must lead back to one point. And then he says something even stranger. The ruler should not be easy to read. Not cold exactly, but unreadable. Because the moment people understand what pleases him, they stop being honest. They start performing. They shape themselves to his preferences instead of reality. And the system slowly turns into theater. But if the ruler stays unclear, if he doesn't reveal what he wants, then something different happens. People act without knowing what will succeed. And in that uncertainty, they reveal who they really are, their intentions, their limits, their loyalties. So control doesn't come from asking. It comes from watching. From there, everything reduces down to something almost simple. Two tools: reward and punishment. If those remain firmly in the ruler's hands, the system holds. If they slip into someone else's control, even slightly, everything shifts. Han Fei compares it to a tiger. A tiger is powerful because of its claws and teeth. Take those away, and it doesn't matter how large it is. It can't command anything. The same with a ruler. Lose control over consequences, and authority becomes an illusion. And that word illusion starts to linger, because by the time Han Fei begins describing the ways power erodes, it no longer looks dramatic. It looks ordinary. Pleasure, distraction, flattery, familiar faces gaining influence, decisions being shaped quietly, indirectly, ministers building loyalty not through position, but through favors, voices around the ruler slowly becoming echoes of someone else's will. Nothing breaks, nothing collapses, but something shifts. And the ruler often doesn't see it happening. That's the part Han Fei keeps returning to. The danger isn't sudden overthrow. It's the slow transfer of control. The moment when authority is still there in appearance, but no longer in reality. And by then, it's already too late. Because in his world, the question isn't how to be admired, or even how to be just. It's something much simpler. How to remain in control when everything around you is quietly trying to take it. That's all for today. Please subscribe for more contents like this. For the full audiobook, please check the link in the description.